Hello everyone, my name is Abhilash Ganesh Pavnikar and today's date is the 16th August 2021 and today's video topic is that polymorphism in Java. Okay, so today we have to discuss about what is the polymorphism, what is the exactly the types of polymorphism, then what is the method overloading and method overriding. Okay, so let us start our video. Is like the first concept is that polymorphism in Java. Okay, so the polymorphism in Java is a concept by which we can perform a single actions in a different ways. Like a polymorphism is a derived from like a two Greek words like a poly and morphs. And the word poly means like a many, and morphs means like a forms. So it will be total meaning of that polymorphism is that like a many forms. Okay, so polymorphism means many forms. There are like two types of polymorphism in Java. First one is that compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. So we can perform polymorphism in Java by the method overloading and method overriding. Okay, so if you overloaded a static method in Java, it is the example of that compile time polymorphism. Here first we will focus on that a runtime polymorphism in Java. Okay, so let us see that what is exactly the runtime polymorphism in Java. Okay, so the runtime polymorphism or it is also known as a dynamic method dispatch. That is a process in which a call to an overridden method is resolved at the runtime rather than the compile time. Okay, so in this process an overridden method is called through the reference variable of a superclasses. Okay, so the determination of that method to be called is based on that object being referred to that being referred by the reference variable. Okay, so let us first we have to understand that what the upcasting before that runtime polymorphism. Okay, so if the reference variable of a parent class that refers to that object of a child class. Okay, so it is known as a upcasting. For example, reference variable of a parent class, it denoted by the object of a child class. If taken have some one example like a class A and class B, that class B extends the class A. So if we taken an creation of that object like a capital A and that object is like a small a is equal to new B, that is known as the upcasting. Okay, so for upcasting we can use the reference variable of that class type or interfaces type. Okay, for example like a interface and class A, then class B extends the class A implements I. Okay, so what is the exactly the output of that that program? So the B is a is a relationship. Okay, so B is a, then B is a I, and B is a object. So since that the object is that root class of that all classes in Java, so we can write B is a object. Okay, so we can take and have another example like a runtime polymorphism. So we are creating a two classes like a bike and splendor, and splendor classes extends the bike class. and overrides its like a run method. Okay, so we are calling the run method by the references variable of that parent class, since it refers to that subclasses object subclass object, and the subclass method that overrides the parent class method. The subclass method is invoked at the runtime, since that the method invocation is determined by the JVM, not a compiler. It is known as a runtime polymorphism. Okay, so we have taken an another example of that Java runtime polymorphism, like a bank. Okay, so if we consider a scenario where a bank is a like a class that provides a method to get the rate of that interest. Okay, so however the rate of interest may differ according to the bank to that banks. Okay, for example, like SBI, ICICI, and Axis Bank are providing that the 8.4%, then 7.3%, and 9.7%. That is the rate of interest. Okay, so in that bank there have the one method that is the get rate of interest. Okay, so there, and that was the float, and there have the branches of that bank, like SBI, ICICI, and another one is that Axis Bank. Okay, so the bank object, the bank method, that was the like a get rate of that interest, and that is the float. Okay, so uh, all banks method is the same. Okay, so this is an example is also given in that method overriding, but there was a no upcasting. Okay, so we will discuss about the our next topic is that like a compile time polymorphism. Okay, so the compile time polymorphism, it is also known as that the static polymorphism, that this type is like a polymorphism is achieved by the function overloading and operator overloading, but the Java doesn't support that the operator overloading. Okay, so if we taken an like we will discuss about the method overloading. Okay, so when there are the multiple functions with the same name but the different parameters, then these functions are said to be the overloaded. So the functions can be overloaded by the change in number of arguments, or it may be like a change in type of arguments. Okay, so by using that the types of arguments. Okay, so in that between we take and have some example, but we will discuss on that like a runtime polymorphism also, so we will skip of that. Okay, so what is the runtime polymorphism? It is also known as that dynamic method dispatch, that it is a process in which that the function called to the overridden method is resolved at the runtime. That this type of a polymorphism is achieved by that method overriding. Okay, so what is the exactly method overriding? So on the other hand, occurs when a derived class has a definition for one of the member function of this of the base class. That base functions is said to be the overridden. Okay, so we will discuss about the real life example of that polymorphism, and that is the a person at the same time can have different characteristics, like man at the same time is a father, husband, and an employee. Okay, so So the same person possesses the different behavior in a different situation. This is called as the polymorphism. So the polymorphism is considered as the one of the important feature of that object oriented programming. So the polymorphism allows us to perform a single action in a different ways. In like other words, polymorphism allows you to the define one interface and have multiple implementation. That the word poly means like a many, and morphs means is like a multiple forms. So it is also called as the many forms and multiple forms, both of them. Okay, so thank you. That's enough for the day.